So one of my most difficult vendors was makeup. Actually, they were the most difficult vendor because I found a lot of the makeup artists, even the highly recommended or popular ones, were unprofessional. Their pricing structure a lot of times did not make sense to me as a consumer, and they were just really hard to communicate with. And there was this one specific makeup company that is well known, and I wanted to go with them. Like, I was sold, especially when it came to how they did hair. Loved it, and I was so excited, and I felt they were reasonably priced for the talent that came with them, and I just really needed to book them. Okay, so I emailed them under my regular name, and it was around Halloween time. I swear, for October I did not sleep because trying to find a makeup person literally was the most stressful part of the wedding planning process. Anyways, so I emailed them around Halloween time. I don't get a response. I was like anxiously waiting for a response, just even a confirmation to say they were available or not available. Just like, let's start with that, right? Would not get a response. I waited a week, did not get a response for a week. Waited 2 weeks, did not get a response for 2 weeks. And because I was so fixated on my perception of how talented they seemed, it was very hard for me to not dwell on that. Okay, so they would not respond. I did not get a response at all. Okay, I followed up. It's not to say I did not follow up. I followed up a week later. I followed up 2 weeks later. I'm like, hey, just wanted to follow up. Did not get any sort of confirmation to even just say, hey, we're not available, or hey, we don't want to do it. Like, whatever it might be, right? And around this time, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and her husband is a DJ and he DJs weddings, and I was telling her kind of my whole experience or journey with this, because it also felt absurd to me that makeup artists were charging one price point for Christian weddings and another like $200, $300, or sometimes even $500 more if it's a Hindu wedding. That makes no sense to me, because the bottom line is, for your wedding day, you want your makeup to last. You want the makeup artist to give you the look that you requested. Whether it's a Christian ceremony or a Hindu ceremony is besides the point, but the price points were wildly different. Okay, so I was telling her all of this, and her husband was in the background, and he actually told me that when he gets a clientele that's a clientele that's brown or Indian, he actually does give a higher price point, because they always bargain. So for them to meet at the level like his regular base rate, he always like kind of inflates it a bit, because he expects that negotiation to take place when it comes to brown clientele. I was like, damn, okay, I did not consider that, and I was not negotiating with any of these makeup artists. I'm going to be quite frank. I did not negotiate pricing. Maybe I should have. I don't know. And that's also one of the reasons when it came to vendor pricing or vendors that I was looking to book, I needed to book vendors who had their pricing listed on their website. So he said that, and then my mind kind of started racing, and I was like, damn, I'm emailing with a very Indian ethnic name. I don't know, maybe they expect that I am going to be negotiating, so they don't respond to me. I don't know what it is, or maybe they don't want, I don't know, a brown clientele, no idea. Like, the company that I'm referring to is, their clientele is primarily Caucasian, okay? And this company also charges more for Hindu weddings. So I was requesting the price, like the availability for a Hindu wedding as well as a Christian wedding, knowing that they were charging $200 to $300 more for the Hindu wedding ceremony. My mind started racing. I was like, let me do some digging, and my mind also went to the book called Freakonomics, which I read when I was a teenager. And in Freakonomics, this was a study they did like decades ago. They had noticed that resumes with Caucasian names got more of a response than resumes with an ethnic name. And this is for the same resume was submitted, just the names were changed, and the Caucasian names got more of a response. And I know we're living in a day and age where like we're celebrating multiculturalism, blah blah, but on the baseline, some things I'm just like, they still need more work. So I was like, my name is very ethnic, let me test out a theory. So I created a new email address with a Caucasian name, like the most Caucasian name you can think about. Okay, just think about that, and that is the name that I created this email address with. And I got to work, because I still had other makeup artists that I was finalizing with because I wasn't getting a response. So I'm like, number one, I want to test the theory that if I had a Caucasian name, would I get a response? Number two, with a Caucasian name, am I getting the same pricing structure? So that's what I wanted to double check, okay? So I got to work with my Caucasian name and I emailed that company that I wanted to book that did not respond to me. And it was like, I literally was not sleeping because I was like anxiously waiting for a response. Even just say no if you're not available. Do you know what I mean? Like, just say no. So I emailed that company, okay? And they're a well-known company with my Caucasian ass name. The lady responded the next day. Overnight response, express response, if you will. She responded the next day saying that they weren't available for the date. I was like, damn, this is crazy. So I'm like, I'm not gonna accuse anyone of racism, but I'm like, is it because I had an ethnic name? Like, what is it? What is it that, like, you did not respond to my initial email, my follow-ups, like multiple like I sent 2 follow-ups, right, from my regular ass like ethnic name and email, but you responded to me when I have a Caucasian name and Caucasian email. And I also went through this with another girl that I was also looking to book, like potentially. She would not respond to my ethnic email address, but responded to my Caucasian email address within the day. So make of that what you will. And then the makeup artists that I did finalize and book, I'm like, hold on. I also need to double check that I'm not getting some inflated price because they expected a bargaining conversation, which I did not do with makeup artists. I bargained with other vendors, but not makeup artists, because honestly, makeup artists were a headache, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So I emailed those makeup artists with my Caucasian email, responded around, like, they took the same amount of time as they took with my ethnic email, like my real name and my real email address. So that's great. Thumbs up. I don't sense racism. I don't sense, like, you know, like kind of being put at the bottom of the list just because I have an ethnic name. So the timeline was the same in terms of the response time, and their pricing structure was the same. It was standard. Fantastic. So now I felt more confident that I'm getting the same pricing that my Caucasian counterparts would be getting, my Caucasian brides would be getting. So the makeup artists that I did finalize, I feel good about, because first of all, not very quickly actually, it took me some time, but like they were responsive. So I went into the hunt for the makeup artist with one standard and then had to adapt. So I was looking for some people who were responsive within what I deemed to be acceptable. So I do need a response within like maximum 3 business days. I don't know why my desperate ass was waiting for 2-3 weeks for this one company, well-known company, to respond when they don't want ethnic business, in my opinion, or they kind of deprioritize ethnic names compared to Caucasian names. So I felt good about the makeup artists I did book because they were standardized in terms of how their response time, and their pricing structure is the same no matter the color of your skin. So that's great. And I know, in like, let's be real, this is not a regulated industry. More than that, especially when it comes to makeup artists, I feel like so many of the price points are pulled out of their ass sometimes. Like, okay, like you're breathing air, I'm gonna charge you $20 for that. You want me to help you put on lotion, that's an extra $50. Stuff like that I don't agree with, but that is the reality of like the industry that we're working with. So I did my test, and I feel good about the makeup artists I did book. And I also feel kind of stupid for putting so much importance on this one makeup company. I'm not gonna name and shame them, but it's Freakonomics was relevant when I was a teenager, but it's just a reminder to me, mostly, that Freakonomics is still relevant today. Okay, the experience does change depending on the color of your skin, your name, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, it is sometimes a factor. Sometimes it's not. Some people are professionals, some people are not. So that was one of my makeup stories. I have another one because I also got a deposit back from another girl I had booked, but that's for a different day.